Another thing I want you to think about is this microphone right here, your lapel or your lavalier microphone. This should be your most important mic that you ever invest. The cheapest mic that I recommend is about $650 for your lapel mic. You can get them cheaper. You can get them down to $200, $300. But you think about what's going through this and who's out there. This should be where you spend the most money right here. The microphones that we'll be using at the Men's Advance, they're $1,200 each for one transmitter, one receiver. Last year, for the first time, we double mic'd the people because it was so important to me that we didn't have any problems, that if we had a dropout on one mic, we could switch over immediately. And it seems like in the past we've had a little glitch here, a little glitch there. So you think about it, every preacher next week at the Men's Advance is going to be wearing $2,400 of mics. That's how important it is to me that we get that communication. So you think about, how do I spend money? Where do I spend money? A lot of people say, I have a limited budget. Where do you start? If your speakers are good and you have a good sound system that's maintaining, here's what I recommend to people. Start with your microphones. If you never get a good sound coming in, you will never get a good sound coming out, okay? So if you start with that and start building a plan saying, hey, okay, we're going to start budgeting $800 a year. For the first year, we're going to budget $1,000, and then we're going to do like $500 from there on out. If you start budgeting and making a plan, going somewhere with it, you're going to start slowly upgrading your system. This auditorium here in this room, if you budgeted $6,000, you could put in a whole new system that would be very sufficient for what you need. This last fall, my family and I, we did a trip to the Northwest. We did 6 churches in, I think it was 8 days or 9 days. The furthest church we did was Tim Schellenberger in Centralia, Washington. We put in a system for $12,000. The closest bid that he got locally was $25,000, and then he got one bid before that was $40,000. We did it for $12,000. We charged him $1,000 for travel expenses, so he ended up paying us $13,000. That's almost half of what he would have paid for going local. And I'm not trying to, again, reach all 4 corners of the state. That's not my goal. But my goal is to help put in quality equipment. If you want me, this is what you're going to get. This is what we're going to spend. We're going to raise the bar. And think about this as I'm starting to wrap it up. The Baptist Times, before it moved to Stillwater, I'm ashamed to say it, but I didn't read it a lot. It was in a newspaper format. Sometimes it'd have one color on the cover. It was really shiny paper. I picked it up. It felt cheap. It looked cheap. I gave it token attention. But now the Baptist Times is far from that. But I don't think the content inside's really changed. It's the way it's been packaged. It's the importance that's been put on it. And now, Brother Hardy, I read it. I look forward to it. It's about how you present yourself. If any of these brands are important to you, you're going to find a way. You're going to find a way to get the new Apple product. You're going to find a way to get the new Duluth clothing or the new Duluth tool. DeWalt's coming out with a 40-volt lawnmower. I'm going to find a way to buy it because there's something about yellow and black that just speaks to me. If they would make a KitchenAid mixer that was yellow and black, my wife would have a tool shop in the kitchen full of power tools for her kitchen. If Home Depot made orange milk, I would go to Home Depot and I would buy milk that was orange for my wife. Because it's important to me. It's important to me. I'm going to find a way. Is this important? It is. Is the Mont Blanc pen in your pocket more important? Is the latest clothing style more important? I think we can demand more excellence in churches, especially in sound. It doesn't have to be the choir member that can't sing. It can be an important position. I've had the privilege to do sound now at Southwest for 18 years. There's a lot of times I should have been fired because of stupidity of things that you've seen. But it's one of the highlights of my week. Three times a week I'm in there doing sound. I love taking care of that system and upgrading. I love helping whoever's on the platform communicating. So the singer has a duty to give credit to the composer, unless if they arrange it themselves. You have a duty when you're preaching to preach the intent of the author. We as sound technicians have a duty to reproduce the intent that's up here, out there. And that's my desire, is to help you and your ministries reproduce what's happening up here faithfully and skillfully out into the congregation.